Good morning, Muses. If you're new here, my name is Melissa Beckwith, and this is Dryad Hollow Homestead. I talk about our new homestead that we are building from scratch. It did come with a house and a shop, but it didn't come with any planting beds or anything else like that. Plus, we've got 2 acres of completely wooded forest back there. But I talk about building a homestead. I also talk about my writing. I'm a epic fantasy science fiction writer. I write under the name Melissa E. Beckwith, and I also talk about healthy living, my journey to health, and mental health issues also. So if you're new here, thank you so much for spending time with me. If you're not new here, thank you for coming back. And today I just wanted to show you how the baby chicks are doing. They've been out in their yard for a couple of days now, and they are so much happier out here, you guys. They were getting really crowded in their brooder, and it's been plenty warm enough. They stopped using their warming plate quite a while ago because it's just been hot, and they're getting old now, older. So I wanted to show you how they were doing. Let's see. They've got plenty of room to, oops, get my finger out of there. They've got plenty of room to spread out. And today the sun is not out. I think it's gonna rain tonight. I hope, because it has been so dry. It rained earlier. Well, it rained last week, real good, and that was fantastic because it hadn't rained for weeks, and it was so dry. But these guys look pretty good. I haven't had any pest pressure at all. The fence seems to be keeping everybody out, all the bad guys out. But yesterday it was super hot and super sunny, and they just spent all their time under the shade of the Easy Up and their coop. We've got a big water system down there and plenty of food. Plus they like to go out and scratch around in the grass. So they are doing superb. A little fight now and then. And the ducks are also doing great. We were worried that the big ducks might beat up on the little ducks because when we had tried to put them out last week for a couple hours, they were beaten up on them, and we took them out. But everything seems to be fine now. The little ducks have learned how to do the little, the run and grab for the bugs. They've learned how to get in and out of their kiddie pool. They have a ton of shade here with this big, beautiful tree. They don't get full sun like the chicks do down there, so we didn't have to worry about giving them an Easy Up because we've got nature's shade here. But they're all doing fine. Looks like the goslings have finally stopped crying for each other. It was so sad. But those little ducklings sure have gone big now. Well, today I am going to be planting another bed. You guys, I've been struggling with this, with my garden here, and I was just so sad. Trying to just accept it. And I did. But it's hard. It's hard when you lose so much. But Richard decided to get me to go to Rural King and get me 15 more bags of compost. So we're going to try it again with this compost. It's nice and moist, no plastic or metal in it. So that's what I'm going to do today, is plant this. Hopefully it does rain tonight. I'll water it anyway, but hopefully it does rain tonight and really gives it a good soaking and gives it a good start to its life. So I will come back in a few minutes, probably like an hour, once I get this planted. I've got some plants that are already growing, and I'm going to be planting lots of seeds too. So it's raining, yay, as you can see, and I'm still out. I don't know if you can see it from here. I'm still out there. I've got the sprinkler. I have the sprinkler going because I've been watering for the last 2 hours. Just moving the sprinkler around, and I was only like not even halfway done. But it was so hot I can't be out there for hours watering by hand. So I'm debating whether or not to run out there and turn the sprinkler off, because the rain that we have been getting has been, well, if we get any rain at all, it's just been short and nothing really soaking the ground, and it stops within a couple of minutes and the ground is still dry. Our ground in the back is still dry and cracked. There's no water building up, so I'm debating whether or not to go out and turn the sprinkler off, because I think that it might just stop at any minute. I don't know. I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks like it's coming down pretty good, so I'll probably run out there and turn it off. The chickens are running around. This is their first rain, you guys. They're like, what the heck is this? Okay. I gotta run out there and turn off the water. Okay, well, I ran out there and turned the water off, and as you can see, I'm soaked. I was one of those kids that when it did rain, I went out and played in the rain because I absolutely loved it, and I'm still that kid. So it's still raining pretty good, so I'm hoping that maybe I won't have to finish watering today. I did fertilize everything last night. I used some liquid organic fertilizer, so that, and I used an entire bag of, like, 20-pound bag of charcoal, but it didn't go all the, it didn't even get half the garden, but I did use that. Oh, some lightning. And it didn't really make a big difference. So yesterday I used some organic liquid fertilizer, and I hand watered the entire garden. So maybe in a couple of days I'll see if that has improved the soil at all, and if my plants are a little bit happier. Okay, I did get my planting done. After it stops raining and dries up a little bit, I'll take you guys out there and show you what I did. It looks like it's stopping raining right now. That was good. I wish it would rain like that for at least another 30 minutes. The ground is so dry. We water for hours and hours and hours a day, and we haven't seen our first water bill yet, so I'm kind of terrified. No, I am full-on terrified that we're going to get a ginormous bill, and then, well, that'll just be it. No more watering the garden, and all that time and effort and money will be lost. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe water is cheap out here. I don't know. My chickens are okay. I'm sure the ducks over there love it. Ducks back there. Yeah, they love it. The baby chicks, not so much. They're all under the coop. Hi guys, it's a little while later, and it has stopped raining. It rained pretty hard, which is good because that means I don't have to come out here and hand water for the rest of today. Tomorrow I'll be back at it though. My ducks look really happy back there. Laying in the wet grass. They look nice and happy, and all the chicks are out. There's no sun out right now. It's still cloudy, so they're not hiding. Whoa. This thing is not very steady. So they're not hiding from the sun under their coop. They're out and about. But I wanted to show you what I planted today. So I planted this whole row this morning. It was super hot this morning. It was 94 degrees, which is about 30 degrees Celsius, I think. 34 degrees Celsius, 94 degrees, but with the heat index it was 104, which is about 39 degrees Celsius. So it was really hot and super humid, and I really don't understand why it's been so humid the last couple of years, because we've been in this area for 11 years now, and it was not, duckies in the back, it was not this humid or this hot when we first moved here. It's really been, I'd say, the last 5 summers, it's gotten increasingly hotter and much more humid. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, I mean, it was like Florida hot today, and we lived in Northwest Florida for 4 years, so I know humid, and it was pretty bad today. So I got this planted as quickly as I could. Went inside, cooled off. I was feeling sick and had a bad headache, so went inside, cooled off, drank lots of water, came back out, planted some more, started watering, but it's all done now. So I'll show you what I planted. Okay, these guys, these two, I bought at Home Depot the other day, and there was no tag on it. It just said tomatoes. So, and these were, most of their tomatoes were wilted and they looked dead, but I grabbed these two because I wasn't sure if any of my rest of my garden was going to make it, so I grabbed these two and planted them in here. And I planted a whole bunch of basil. This morning, I think it was this morning, I watched a video, and I will link it below. It's one of Jess from Roots and Refuge, one of her videos where she was talking with her friend Taylor, and her friend Taylor showed on the video how to make basil tea. And she had several different kinds of basil, and she made tea out of them, and supposedly it's excellent. So I am going to try that. I've got this one little basil plant here that I don't know if it's going to make it or not. But I went back through my giant trove of seeds, and I found that I had about 7 or 8 different kinds of basil. Some of them hadn't even been opened yet. Some of them had been sort of used. You guys, I planted all of that basil all through the old garden and all through this new row that I just made. I've got so much basil out here if it comes up, and I'm looking forward to making that basil tea. Yay. I really, really love iced tea. Being from California, we just drank unsweetened tea, not tea that was not sweet. And when we first moved here and we were going through some fast food place, we ordered tea because, you know, we don't drink soda or anything like that. And when we got it, it was like, what? What in the world is this stuff? We can't even drink it. It's so sweet. It's like a 5-pound bag of sugar with 2 drips of water and some brown food coloring. But here you have to specify unsweet tea, or they're going to give you this, I don't know what I don't know what it is, but we can't drink it. And even if you specify unsweet tea, probably 10 or 20% of the time you'll still get sweet tea, and we've just got to throw it away. But I am really excited about this basil tea. So I've got a ton of basil planted everywhere, and hopefully it'll come up. Alright, so this little guy is a brandy wine, and it's one of the ones that I planted, well, before we even moved here. And it kind of stopped growing because I stopped watering the poor thing, because I just didn't have any room to put it into my garden. But then when I thought that my garden was all gonna die, I started watering it and it came back to life. Poor thing. But I've got in between this, I've got cinnamon basil here, I've got holy basil here, I've got lemon basil spread throughout here. I also planted Armenian yard-long cucumbers. I think they're actually melons, but people eat them as cucumbers. I've got silver slicer cucumbers growing here, and something, of course, that I love. I've never tried it, but I love the name, dragon's egg cucumber. And we're going to put up a cattle panel trellis here for all the trailing things and things that need to be spiked up. And all through here is more basil. This is red Reuben basil. And while I was at Home Depot the other day, I picked up another poblano, red bell pepper, and a green bell pepper. I planted more basil, purple opal. And we really, really love summer squash. Well, I love winter squash too. And I'm pretty sure all of my yellow squash and my zucchini died, so I planted more. I've got some yellow squash here and some zucchini here. And I really planted this bed super heavily because I've had really horrible germination this year, and just a lot of things just didn't come up. So I've planted this heavily, and I'll just have to thin it. I planted more cabbage because the cabbage I probably planted 3 times, and they just either don't come up or they come up and die. So I'm hoping to actually get some cabbage this year. Same thing with kale. We eat a lot of kale, so I heavily planted this. Hopefully we'll get a couple of good plants. And I tried more beets. I try to eat a lot of beets because I have a problem with being chronically anemic. So I planted Detroit dark red beet and early wonder beet. That is my planting for the day. We'll see how well that. Hopefully this is gonna work out. And it got a real good water. I was already halfway done watering all of this when it started raining. So hopefully this planting bed is going to work out and everything will come up and it will be beautiful. I still have about 119 growing days left in this season before the next harvest, or before the next frost, so I should be able to get a harvest. Pretty long growing season here, depending on how late the frost. We had late frost this spring. It was weird. It was cold and rainy, so but we don't usually get a frost until November, till early November, and it is July now, so that's why I can do a second planting, but when in reality I've replanted these beds. Our neighbor, we've replanted these beds 3 or 4 times. But this is new compost, so I'm hoping that I will have better luck with this stuff. And we'll check back in a couple of days and see, or maybe by the weekend, and see if anything's sprouting. Probably by the end of the week I'll do another garden tour. Things are looking a little bit better, so I just wanted to wait and make sure before I did another garden tour, but I'll be doing that shortly, probably this weekend. Hopefully it will cool off, because this humidity really kills me. My birds. They're like, come on, lady, quit talking. I need to eat. Okay, thank you so much, Muses, for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps my channel out. Like this video, give it a thumbs up, and share it, and ring the little bell, and you'll get notifications when I upload a new video. I try to do 3 of these a week. Still, we don't have internet here, so I've got to coordinate with my daughter or my husband going to town, yada yada. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.